Hi, everybody, and welcome to the platform. Oh, it has been a minute. It really has. I just want to say thank you for tuning in, for coming to hang out with me for a little bit. And yeah, we're just going to sit back and um, let's talk about it, okay? Let's just talk about it. We're going to talk about a few things today. The first thing is y'all know how we do it. You know how we do it. I need for you to go down there and like and share, okay? Like and share the platform. Tell your friends about it. Tell them to come on and check it out and like and share. Talk about it. Have some conversations about it, okay? But let me get comfortable because see, I got to be comfortable because I want y'all to be comfortable. So if I'm looking all stiff and tight, y'all gonna be like, what's wrong with her? So just let me take a minute to readjust and get all that together, okay? But I'm headed out. I have some things I need to do today, some errands I need to run. But before I take care of my business, I have to take care of God's business. I always have to take care of his business because when I try to take care of my business first, it don't be right. Nothing is right, okay? Places I try to go, get there, somebody acting crazy, get in my car, my air conditioner act like it don't know me and don't know that I be getting them hot moments, okay? So on the serious side, I wanted to come on and just talk about it for a second. And what I want to talk about is how are we doing? More specifically, what are we doing? And I think I kind of touched on this a little bit before, but you know, it's still in my spirit. So that means that God wants me to say a little bit more. So I'm a church member, okay? I'm a church member, and I have a wonderful pastor, first lady, a wonderful group of fellow worshipers, and we come together and we worship as one body under Christ. Okay, we as a people, okay. Well, now that we no longer have a designated spot where we can do that, we are having to be, and I've said this in other situations, we are having to be creative. Because to be very honest, and here on the platform, you'll get to know me and you will understand that honesty, transparency, no sugarcoating, that's what you're going to find here. So if you like to be, coddled, if you like, for people to walk on eggshells, this ain't that, okay? This is not that. But now that we no longer have a building, now that the church, which just to clarify, is the people, not the building, the people, okay? The building is just where the people come in order to fellowship, in order to commune as one. But it is not the building that is the church. So how are we now being representatives of what we represented and what we did and what we professed to believe while we were in the building? How are we doing that now? Because I know for me, and I'm gonna, again, honesty, for me, one of the things that I started falling off on was my giving, my tithes, my offering, my giving. And it was not an intentional, well, we're not going to the building, so I'm just going to hold on to my coins. It was not that. It was because without the ritual of the pastor saying, okay, it's offering time, because the tradition was removed, okay, I'm gonna, hey, nobody's asking me for it. I'm not thinking about it, so you don't get it. And when I realized that, my giving had stopped and how long it had been since I had given, I was really surprised. I was really surprised because my family, for ever, my parents, my grandparents, there's a tradition in my family. I don't even want to use the word tradition, but there is a legacy in my family, a heritage in my family where we give in order to support the upbuilding of the spreading of the word of God. We want to be able to go out and do things and have the resources to do those things in order to keep spreading the word, in order to keep sharing Christ with people who don't know him. And just like you cannot run your household without money, without money continually coming in, then the church, the people cannot continue to function if they are not doing the things that they are accustomed to doing, the things that they did in order to keep the building going. Now, we had ushers. And one of the jobs, one of the jobs of the ushers was to greet people as they came in. You were a greeter. You smiled. You made people feel welcome. Okay? Then we had the praise team. Your job or your calling was to usher in the Holy Spirit. Your calling was to send up praise in the form of song. That is what you were doing in the building. Then we had the pastor. And the pastor's job was to preach or teach, because preaching, to me, and this is my definition now, and if you got your own, I ain't knocking yours, you free to have that. But my definition is preachers, ministers, reverends, bishop, pope, whatever you want to call it, rabbi, whatever you call it. Their job is to teach. To teach. When you're preaching, you're just talking to me. But when you teach me, I'm watching what you do. You're going to get up and you're not just going to tell me what to do. You're going to show me what to do. You're going to show me. And once I have gotten that, then you're going to teach me something else. That's how it worked in my school. We started out learning our ABCs. And once you learn those ABCs, then you learn how to put them together then you learn how to say them. Then you learn the sound they made. And then you learn how to put them together to form words. And then you learn how to put those words together to form sentences. And then you learn the context of what those sentences mean. You had a teacher. So that teacher didn't just stand up and tell you, okay, there's some things called ABCs, letters. And those letters are put together to make sounds. And those sounds are put together to make words. And those words are strung together to make sentences. Next. No. They went step by step. They showed you. I remember being in kindergarten and the teacher coming and putting her hand on my hand and showing me how to trace that A, and all of that, how to trace that A. Well, a lot of us have been tracing A's for years. We've been tracing A's for years. God has put his hand, his favor, his gift, his talent into us. He has held our hand and traced for us our purpose. He's traced it for us. He has spelled it out. He has stood there and said, look, Velma, this is what you were called to do. I've given you this talent. And if you just follow and listen to what I'm teaching you, when I'm holding your hand and moving it the way it needs to go, when I'm molding your life and molding you into the person that you need to be, I don't want you to move your hand. I don't want you to try to make a D when I'm still trying to teach you how to make an A. I don't want you, because see, if you start trying to make that D and then the teacher says go back and make an E, now you don't know what to do. When God tells you to do this, but then you decide to do that and it doesn't work out, and then you try to go back, well, now you don't know what to go back to because you weren't listening and allowing yourself to be taught in the beginning. You did not allow God to put his hand over your hand and trace with you. You slapped his hand away and said, I got this. I got this. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to start a business, and this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make all this money. I'm going to retire my mama, my grandmama, my auntie, boo-boo them, and we just going to sit back and we're going to be balling. And then it doesn't happen. And then you start to question what God spoke to you. Well, maybe God really didn't tell me that I was going to be a successful businessman, a successful businesswoman. Maybe he didn't speak that to me. No, he spoke it to you. He spoke it to you. But after you got the message, after you got out of it what you wanted to get out of it, which was, I'm going to be a success, then you slapped his hand away and said, I got to rest. And I sit here as an example of that. Because when God first told me that, and I'm going to tell you this, and it was years ago, and this shows me how old I am. It was decades ago, okay? Because I've lived 5 decades and some change. So this was decades ago. And God said this to me, exactly. The sound of your voice will cover your family. Okay, cool. I took that to mean that my prayer or my conversation with God, that it needed to be out loud. I needed to not just say it in my head, but I needed to speak that covering over my spouse. I needed to speak that covering over my children, my friends, all of that. Because once God spoke that, see, he put his hand on my hand and he started tracing, saying, Velma, the sound of your voice will cover your family. I slapped his hand away and said, okay, I got it. I know what you mean. I was so wrong. Baby, I was so wrong. I was wrong as 2 + 2 is 8. That's how wrong I was. Because I did not allow God to continue tracing my life. I did not allow God to continue working and teaching me, because I didn't know what it meant. But instead of me waiting, I said, oh, I just need to pray out loud. Okay, fine. I can pray out loud. I can talk to you out loud. That was not what God meant. God meant, because he has shown me that me stepping into my purpose of being a motivational speaker, being an inspirational speaker, being a teacher of the women of the Bible, taking those stories and showing women how even hundreds of thousands of years later, those stories are still relatable to the things that we go through today. That's what God meant by the sound of my voice would cover my family, because your gifts and talents will make a way in your life to have the things that you need. So yes, there are earthly things that we need to do, because Georgia Power does not play, okay? So there are earthly things that we need to do. But when the earthly things that we need to do replaces the godly things that we were told to do, that's when we get in trouble. That's when we get in trouble. We don't have to go in a building to ask God, to talk to God, and bring our needs to God. You can do that in your basement. You can do that in your car. You can do that anywhere. You do not have to have a formal way of talking to God. I have a total of 6 children, 4 boys, 2 girls. I get up early. I'm down in the kitchen, doing my thing before the house starts getting busy. And generally my youngest son, which is 21, he comes bopping down the stairs first, comes in the kitchen. Hey, mama, good morning. What's up, whatever, what you doing today? That's how he starts talking to me. And I don't mean that in a disrespect. He's not disrespectful. I say, he'll come down, hey, mama, good morning. But if he were to come downstairs and say, good morning, mother. Did you sleep well? Do you have any activities that you have planned for today? And if you do, is there a way that I could assist you? What, did you fall? You okay, baby? Justin, you okay? Because see, I know him. And I know him because I have a relationship with him. And I have a relationship with him because when he was in here, I would talk to him. And then when he was born, I would dance with him and I would whisper in his ear. And then when he started, wanting to crawl, I would encourage him. And then when he started walking, I still encouraged him. And that first day of school, when he was scared and he didn't know what to do, I continued to encourage him. High school, I encouraged him. That first little girl that broke my baby heart, that's another story. I continued to encourage him. I continued to hold his hand and help him to trace what he needed at that time. Because I know that there's going to come a time when life will take my hand away. When God will say, it's time for you to stop tracing now. But a lot of us stop tracing before God says, stop tracing. We stop tracing and we start chasing. God didn't ask you to chase after anything but his heart. He didn't ask you to chase after a career, a woman, a man, a car, a house. He didn't ask you to chase after those things. He said chase after his heart. That's all you need to be chasing after. And everything else will come after you. It will come after you. The career will come and make itself available for you. The doors that the people say God will open the door that no man can close. Well, let me tell you this. God will not allow some doors to even be built. See, some doors you open and sometimes you walk in and it ain't even no door. And when there's no door, we count the table. We be looking at like, it ain't even no door in here. God will not allow people to even put up doors, to put up walls. There, you don't have to worry about a person telling you no, because God will remove that person before you even have to ask them. See, we say, well, all they can say is yes or no. No, because if God removes them, they can't say nothing. And now, what did God say? Well, God told me yes. He told me yes, I was going to be successful. If I take my talent and my gift and I use it and give it back to the kingdom. If I give it back. And so many of us fall off because we take our talent and our ability and we give it to people that did not give it to us. God gave you the gift to write. God gave you the ability to sing. He gave you the ability to DJ. He gave you the ability to do all these wonderful things. And you know you're gifted. You know you're blessed. You know that you're talented. You know that God's favor is on your life. But you take the gifts of God, and instead of using them and giving them back to him and saying, God, what do you want me to do with this? You gave me this gift. I'm bringing it back because I want you to show me or make sure I know that I'm using it the way you have intended for me to use it. See, you can give somebody a gift because, see, I prime example, I went on Amazon. I don't know if I can say Amazon, and if I can't, they might, put me in Facebook jail. But anyway, I went on Amazon and I ordered a tape recorder. Okay, ordered a tape recorder. This thing about this big, about this big, about this wide. The book that came with it that showed you what to do is a card folded in half, smaller than a card from a deck of cards. I've had it about 6 months. And if I know how to work that tape recorder, I know how to walk backwards to the moon. I have no idea how to work it. So if the place I ordered it from was like a little closer, like it wasn't over an ocean or something like that, like if I had went to a local place and bought it, I would have taken it back by now and said, okay, I bought this from you, so I'm bringing it back to you so you can show me how to use it. And now once you show me how to use it, now I'm going to use it the way you have shown me, the way it was intended to be used. So, thank you for tuning into the platform. I hope and I pray, and I don't hope and I pray because I know, because God does not allow me to feed into others without him first feeding into me. And when I get full and I don't feed into others, God will say, okay, I've put enough in you. And until you start putting that where I told you, I'm not giving you anything else. So when I sit and I try to figure out, okay, what? I need to make a video because, it's time to make a video, but I don't know what to talk about. And God says, well, you have not released what I've already put in you. I've already told you what to say, but you didn't do that. So no, I'm not giving you another word because you have yet to speak the words I've already given you. You have yet to fully use the talent that I've already given you. Take your gift, your talent, your abilities that you know only God could have given you. Open your hand. Lord, creator of all, what do you want me to do with this? Okay? And when he puts his hand on your hand and he traces your life, let him trace it from A to Z. Don't stop anywhere in between. We are a blessed people. We are a blessed and highly favored people. Let's take our blessings and the favor of God and use that to continue to allow God to trace our life. And then let our life be an example to others. Be blessed because you already are. And you know why you are. Because you're meant to bless somebody else. So go ahead and take them blessings and sprinkle them around. Like you sprinkle all that salt and bring your blood pressure up, but there's another story. Go on out there and bless somebody. And have a good day.